Hello drummers and other creatures, it's me, Joe again, and I'm back with yet another drumming video. Today we're going to be looking at quarter note beats. It's one of the most basic beats you could learn how to play, and I'm going to show you a few variations of that beat. Just to remind you, I made a series about counting the table of time, which includes quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets and sixteenths, which is what every drummer needs to know if you're going to play pop and rock music. A quarter note beat means a beat where the main pulse is quarter notes. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be using any other subdivisions, as you'll see soon. It just means that the main feeling is quarter notes. So between the bass drum and the snare drum, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are quarters. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put the hi-hat in there. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ride. 2, 3, 4. It's good to add the left foot there, the hi-hat. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, push. Songs that have a quarter note beat are things like All Right Now by Free, Bad Company's Can't Get Enough, Black Knight by Deep Purple, of course, Booker T's Green Onions, You're My Best Friend by Queen, Valerie by Amy Winehouse / Mark Ronson, Happy by Pharrell, You Can't Hurry Love by the Supremes and Phil Collins as well, one of our gods. So let's get stuck in. How do we play the beat? It's one of the simplest things, as I said. We're going to play the hi-hat and the bass drum together. I'm a right-handed drummer, so I'm playing right hand on the hi-hat and right foot bass drum like this. 1. Then I'm going to play right hand and left hand together, hi-hat and snare. 2, 3, 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right hand, right foot, both hands together. Right hand, right foot, both hands together. Right hand, right foot, both hands together. Hi-hat and bass, hi-hat and snare. Hi-hat and bass, hi-hat and snare. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a really good, simple thing to work on your coordination. If your hands and feet aren't all playing in a synchronized way, relax and spend some time working on it. Learn how to listen to yourself. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I go to the ride, 2, 3, 4. I like adding the hi-hat with the foot. 4, 1, 2, which is 2 and 4. So it means my left hand and my left foot are together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. So that's your basic pattern. Now we're going to add some bass drum stuff. I'm going to play some extra eighth notes on my bass drum, and the first pattern I'm going to do is the general We Will Rock You pattern. So I'm going to play an extra bass drum note on the and of 1 and the and of 3. So we have this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. We will rock you, and so on and so on. It's the bane of every drum teacher's life. Okay, so we're going to make a groove that sounds like this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now, if you've never done this before, what you're going to very possibly find challenging is that I'm playing the bass and the hi-hat together, and then another bass drum note on its own. And you may find that your right hand or left hand, if you're playing the drum kit the other way around, wants to follow the foot. So instead of playing a bass and hi-hat and then bass on its own, 1 and, you might find yourself doing 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2. So take your time, really work on the coordination of that, and try and make 2 nice clean bass drum notes. 1 and. So both bass drum notes sound the same. There will be a tendency possibly to go loud, one, and make that second bass drum note a bit feeble. Or maybe if you're a difficult sort of person, you might do it the other way around and go one, and playing a soft bass drum and then a loud one. But you want to play them as evenly as you can. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 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 I highly recommend counting, by the way. Once you can play that pattern with the bass drum on the 1 in the and then the 3 in the and, see if you can mix it up with the single bass drum note. So sometimes you play the bass on the 1 and then 3 in the and then sometimes on the 1 in the and then just the 3, and then the 1 in the and the 3 in the and. Something like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 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 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And there you have all right now, give or take. The next variation on the bass drum is going to be to play the bass drum on the 8th note after the snare. So on the and of 2 and the and of 4. And that would sound like this. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. And again, you're going to find the same challenge if you've not done this before, that after you've hit the snare drum, your hi-hat hand is going to want to play the bass as well, very possibly. So you might end up doing something like this. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Now, you've accidentally taught yourself how to play a swing, but that's not what we're trying to do at the moment. Try and practice slowly and in isolation that move. We're going to hit the snare and hi-hat together and the bass afterwards. 2 and. 2 and. 4 and. 1. Oi. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Like we did with the first example, we can add or remove the and of 2 or the and of 4 and make 3 different patterns, right? So we could go 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 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 3, 4 and. Practice that until you can very comfortably mix and match between adding the bass on the and of the 1, the and of the 2, the and of the 3, and the and of the 4. Playing a mixture of the 2 examples I've just given you would sound like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Let's hear that a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Finally, we're going to drop the bass drum from the 3 and we're going to experiment playing the bass on the 1 and the various ands, starting off with the and of 3. So we're going to go bass on 1 and the and of 3, or the 3 and as I like to call it, going something like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 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 Now again, look out for the tendency that a lot of you may have, if you've never done this before, of following the bass drum slavishly with your hi-hat hand. So you may end up with something like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So Again, isolate, 3 and just focus on that little thing. 3 and the interaction between your right hand and right foot. 3 and maybe just a few times you have to do it. 3 and then you try playing the whole pattern again. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And don't worry if it takes you a little time to work out those coordination issues. If you've never done this before, it could take a little time. None of this comes instantly to most people. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's go to the 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3. Let's add the 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and next we'll do 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 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 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, combining the previous pattern as well. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All the examples I've shown you up to now were played with a straight eighth note feel. That means I was counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once you've got the hang of all the patterns, you can learn how to play them with a swung feel as well. That means we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so on. The pattern's going to be the same, but the feel will be different. So if we take the pattern with the bass on the 1 in the and the 3 in the and, we get this in a straight feel. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And if I swing it, we get this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Black Knight. 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. We could play this in a straight feel. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. With a swung feel, it would sound like this. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So that's it. That's your quarter note beat with some bass drum variations. Check out the link in the description below and you'll be able to download a PDF with the exercises I've shown you in this video. I'll also include transcriptions of a few well-known grooves of this type. As always, I hope you found this useful or entertaining. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and also let me know if there's any topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. I'm going to do more stuff on this topic and others. In the meantime, go away and practice.